All right, so now that we have some of our contact information, we're going to talk about how to start to reach out to these people for the outreach for your guest posting. So, as we talked about in some of the last videos, you can use emailhunter.co to get the contact email, do a little bit of research, and find the first and last name through some of the other three methods that we talked about as well. And so basically the goal of this pre-outreach campaign is to connect and get on people's radar and warm them up so that the outreach emails that you send are that much more effective. Now, as a reminder, there are two types of sites that you'll be reaching out to. That includes both a blog and also a magazine. So with regards to magazines, usually those are large publications with lots of traffic, and they're, it's a big team of people. It doesn't make sense to use a pre-outreach strategy for these types of organizations. So for things like Hello Giggles, Mind Body Green, these are massive websites with a big team of people. There's no way to easily do pre-outreach, so we would just skip those. Okay, so the process that we use is pretty simple. The main thing we do is follow them on social media. So you can see here for Paleo Magazine, we've got Facebook, Twitter, Google+, etc. So we can click like page, we can click follow, and it'll log me in to do that. And then the next step is to share some of their recent articles. So in a way that hopefully they see it, they realize that, hey, we're following them, we're aware of them. Maybe they retweet us or like our shares or whatnot. So we're going to share some of their recent articles. Okay, so before we share, the first thing we should do is actually leave a comment. So it should be something that is helpful. And we say, hey, great article. I really loved this specific point. I loved how you talked about X, Y, and Z. That helped me in my own life. Have you read this other book? You get the idea. Basically, something that's very clearly indicating that you actually read or at least scanned the article, and it's not just a templated comment. And then actually, it looks like there's no other comments here, so hopefully they would definitely see your comment because it's the only one here. Thing that you should definitely include in your article is some kind of specific question. That'll encourage the person who runs the blog or article to actually respond to your comment, and therefore it's more likely to, they spent a little extra time reading and responding to your comments, so they're more likely to recognize your name if you reach out later. So that's something to keep in mind. And also when you hit submit, there's a high probability that your comment will not display right away, because on most sites like this, comments have to be reviewed to ensure they're not spam before they're approved. The next step is to go and click on these social share buttons and to tweet and share this article. Now, when you do that, you're going to want to make sure to include the handle of the one that popped up on the homepage. So let's see where that is. So yeah, Ancestral Chef. So it actually does automatically display that way. Sometimes it won't, so you want to make sure this is in there so the person that you just followed now will get notified when you share their article. And then you tweet that, and then they hopefully get the notification and see it and like it or retweet it as well. Do the same thing on Facebook. And then now you've reached out to them on a couple different channels, and your name is much more familiar to them. Now, the final thing you can do is to actually go to their Twitter feed and go to the Twitter feed and basically find some recent tweets and like them, retweet them, basically just engage with them in a couple different places. So that way, again, they see your name in as many places as possible, but not in a way that they enjoy and makes them like you. And so once you do that with one person, it's really simple. It's actually quite quick to do. Just go through and do that with each person and each website on the list of prospects that you've come up with. And then the next step in the next video, we'll talk about how to actually send your first email outreach to actually start moving in the direction of submitting your first guest posts to these sites.